First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Gainesville police officers and fire rescue workers joined forces today in training for active shooter situations. I'll have more on that live from GFR's Training Bureau.
And Amanda is tracking 4 days of rain chances as a cold front makes its way into north central Florida.
Today, my campaign is suspended.
Out of the race, Marco Rubio beaten in his home state. Last night, primaries shook up the Republican race to the White House. And on to the Gainesville mayoral election. That's our top story tonight. Good evening. It's March 16th. I'm Marie Ettinger.
And I'm Connor Ingalls. Thanks for joining us. WUFT reporter Leah Shields joins us now in the studio with the new mayor's plans for the future.
There was a 44% voter turnout to the polls yesterday, a huge increase from last year's March election that had only 12.5% turnout. And last night's results were a major upset for incumbent Ed Brady.
We know we have the right candidate for the job, and I think the votes are going to show that.
As the results rolled in, so did mayoral candidate Lauren Poe. His supporters were rowdy with excitement. Lauren Poe has announced his victory for mayor of Gainesville after 29 of the 36 precincts were counted. And now his supporters are celebrating behind me at First Magnitude Brewery. Poe received 57% of the vote, slightly over 5,000 more votes than Brady.
I didn't run against Ed Brady. I ran for Gainesville.
Yeah. Brady's supporters were disappointed.
I think it's a real loss for Gainesville because he brought the community together at a time we needed it the most.
Do you have any advice for Lauren?
No. No, he seems to know what he's doing, so.
Poe says he related with the voters because of his progressive message. Poe's campaign focused on equity challenges in Gainesville.
And the voters responded overwhelmingly that that is the path that they want Gainesville to take, and the work starts tomorrow.
Poe doesn't get sworn in until May, but he already has plans for his first months in office.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is meet with the different commissioners and start trying to build some of the bridges that need to be mended.
Poe says he's also going to get to work right away on a policy agenda focused on transportation, quality of life, and programs for children. Brady still remains hopeful for the policies that he put in place during his term, including the Freedom in Motion service to expand Uber to the elderly.
I think what you'll see is in a year from now, many of the things we started will still be going on.
And members of Brady's campaign say that having the presidential primaries and the mayoral election on the same ballot hurt his chances. He has about 2 months left in office.
Thank you, Leah. Another big day of primary victories for Donald Trump, but there are still plenty of Republicans who oppose his nomination for president, enough that a contested convention looks more likely than ever. Donald Trump moved close enough to the Republican nomination for president in Tuesday's primaries that he knocked Marco Rubio out of the race. Trump won in Illinois, North Carolina, and Florida, but John Kasich easily beat Trump in Ohio. And Trump won Missouri by less than 1 percentage point, so there is the possibility of a recount there. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton swept Bernie Sanders in all 5 states and is preparing to face Trump in November. But Sanders isn't budging and has his sights set on the West Coast, most recently campaigning in Arizona. And President Obama has announced D.C. Appeals Court Chief Judge Merrick Garland as his nominee for the U.S. Supreme Court. Garland would replace Justice Antonin Scalia, who died suddenly last month, leaving the court evenly split with 4 liberals and 4 conservatives. Judge Garland, a moderate Clinton appointee, has a 2-decade track record. As a prosecutor, he oversaw the Unabomber and Oklahoma City bombing trials. He has been considered for the Supreme Court twice before, but never nominated. Senate Republicans, however, have vowed not to hold confirmation hearings until after the presidential election, but Senate Democrats are urging them to consider Obama's nominee.
Now, I thought the foggy mornings were only going to last a day, maybe 2, but it seems like it just hasn't let up.
Yeah, I know. I say I know. I don't really know. I don't get up that early, but I've heard it's a problem. Amanda Hawley joins us now in the UF Weather Center. Amanda, will we see any more fog this week?
We do have the chance for fog again tomorrow morning. I don't think it'll be as widespread. However, we've been seeing that fog because of the added moisture in the area and some certainly warmer temperatures out there. But here's future track of that fog. Like I said, I don't think it'll be as widespread or as dense Thursday morning, but it will be a possibility when you step out the door. But currently, like I said, warm out there. We had a high of 88 degrees here on the University of Florida campus today. Currently it's 84 at the Gainesville Regional Airport, 88 down in Orlando. And it's going to be another mild night, the last warm and dry night we see for a while. 72 degrees by 10 p.m. Notice those clouds increasing. Those are going to bring rain chances increased for tomorrow. But we'll start off mild and muggy once again Thursday morning with a low of 64 in Gainesville and 63 in Ocala. But coming up, I will tell you more about those rain chances when you'll need the umbrella. Back to you.
All right, Amanda, thank you. Alachua County commissioners went back to the drawing board to build a new plan for a job center. The previous plan to build a job center east of Noonan's Lake was ruled out after hours of public debate. The new area being proposed for construction is on Talcachali land on Waldo Road because of its proximity to the airport and the University of Florida. Commissioners plan to negotiate a land swap with the state and Plum Creek to develop the land, and commissioners have already discussed potential organizations that could be involved in the project.
Really involves getting as many possible entities on board: our legislative delegation, our city and county commissioners, the University of Florida and Santa Fe, our African American and East Side leaders, our environmental leaders, the Chamber of Commerce. If all of those groups came together, this thing would be a slam dunk.
The Commissioner of Florida's Acquisition and Restoration Council application for the Job Center is due at the end of April. The University of Florida's College of Education is making plans to renovate its historic Norman Hall after receiving state funding for part of the project. The building was constructed in 1932 and has only had minor repairs since. Renovators hope to make the classrooms adequate for the 21st century to support student technology needs. The college's dean says he's looking forward to enhancing the building so that it can better serve educators.
The college is really on a terrific trajectory of doing research and training the future educators to address the important societal issues of the state, of the nation, and it's a very exciting time that our facilities might be able to help our efforts rather than be a real hindrance to those efforts.
Just secured $14.1 million in funding for renovations for the 2016-2017 fiscal year. The renovations are expected to cost about $24 million in total, with additional funds coming from alumni and future fundraising.
According to the FBI, 160 active shooter incidents occurred in the United States in the last 13 years. To prepare for such an emergency, Gainesville Fire Rescue and the Gainesville Police Department conducted realistic training exercises today. WUFT's Maggie Lorenz joins us now live from the GFR Training Bureau. Maggie, I'll bet it's been an exciting day for you.
Connor Marie, emergency responders have been running through realistic drill exercises like what you're seeing behind me since early this morning. It's all in an effort to be as prepared as possible in the event of an active shooter emergency. While this sounds like a scary situation, it's all a part of an emergency training exercise. Gainesville Fire Rescue and the Gainesville Police Department are teaming up this week to train for the potential event of an active shooter.
So what we're trying to do is make certain that our response will be the most quickly way to mitigate the incident and also get help to the people that are affected.
Members of both agencies say they recognize the importance of combining their resources.
Basically what you're seeing today is the GFR Rescue Task Force getting called out, put into motion, and under the escort of police being able to move EMS personnel into the scene so that they can get to the patients quicker.
The exercise today involved the task force rushing into a classroom environment where 5 people had been shot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
After responders evacuate the trauma mannequins from the building, they work on stabilizing and treating the victims. This involved treating wounds and moving the mannequins into an ambulance. After each drill, responders gathered to review their performance.
So this is all kind of building up to trying to test our services and make certain that we're able to provide the best services to our citizens.
If an active shooter situation occurs, GFR is urging people to follow the run, hide, or flight situation. More information can be found on the FBI's website. Reporting live from GFR's Training Bureau, Maggie Lorenz, WUFT News.
Thank you, Maggie. A toothless monkey has something to smile about after finding a new home in Gainesville. The staff at Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary took in Mongo in the beginning of March. He had been put in a pet carrier and tossed on the side of a Pennsylvania highway. Mongo had a collar but no teeth. The sanctuary director said people remove monkeys' teeth to keep them from biting. Most of the monkeys that come to the sanctuary had been pets or had been used for research.
Is please do not buy a pet monkey. Don't buy any wild animal as a pet. Dogs and cats make amazing pets. Horses, goats, but not wild animals.
Bagnall said Mongo is becoming comfortable in his new home and hopes to introduce him to 2 other monkeys later this week. You can find updates on Mongo at the Jungle Friends website or Facebook page.
WUFT News First at 5 is just getting started. Coming up, bear-proof trash cans may be replacing some current trash cans soon. We'll take a look at who the new rule affects.
Plus, as drones invade the skies, they are raising safety concerns. WUFT consumer reporter Ryan Roberts has the latest. That story and more coming up in our consumer segment.
And it was another warm one out there, but today will be the last warm day we see for a while. Warm and dry. We've got rain chances coming back into the forecast, and I'll tell you when you'll need the umbrella coming up.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome back. After multiple complaints in regards to bear activity, Marion County and the Florida Wildlife Commission have teamed up to help prevent bear incidents. I guess they just can't bear it anymore.
Oh man, I guess not. All right. Well, they're actually now advertising bear-resistant trash cans in order to solve the problem. WUFT's Lizzie McCarthy joined us now live from the newsroom. Lizzie, what did you learn about the bear-proof trash cans today?
I learned that Marion County is now joining Seminole County and others in the state of Florida in the fight to avoiding bear-to-human conflicts.
Marion County is now offering bear-proof trash cans at a discounted price. The FWC teamed up with Marion County in order to provide the containers to residents who previously wouldn't have been able to afford them. The idea for these trash cans came from previous complaints about bear-to-human interactions. The FWC wants people to know that garbage is the #1 cause of bear-to-human conflicts, and the bear-proof trash cans are designed to prevent incidents like those.
The best bet is to give people a good container that a bear can't get into, and it'll discourage them, and hopefully they'll go back in the woods to find natural food.
The FWC has provided many options to secure your trash, bear-resistant trash cans being one of the most efficient.
Not only do these bear-proof trash cans come with a locking mechanism, but they're also capable of being tumbled without breaking.
This box requires you to put your finger to release the catch, and it's got a restrictive opening where you put your finger so that bears are not going to be too handy about getting their paw in there.
The containers are funded through a state grant and are available for $40 to $50. Recent numbers from Southeastern naturalists show bear interactions went from 97% to 5% when bear-resistant trash cans were used.
Bears are very adaptable and are quick to associate people with food, so be sure to protect your garbage, your home, and yourself. Reporting from the newsroom, Lizzie McCarthy, WUFT News.
Thank you, Lizzie. Now, drones have been one of the hottest tech gifts around in recent years, but now the FAA is trying to regulate those new pilots.
That's right. WUFT's consumer and tech reporter Ryan Roberts joins us now. Ryan, how are they trying to do this?
Well, Connor, the FAA is trying to make sure all drones are registered with them before they leave the ground. As we first warned you here on WUFT News, new drone regulations from the FAA went into effect late last month. But are the skies of North Central Florida any more safe? I decided to take a closer look. James Hagenbarth bought his drone just a few months ago, but don't call him an amateur.
They call me the drone man.
Hagenbarth says he has already recorded nearly 300 flights.
I would say it's very exhilarating. You're able to see things that you just can't see anywhere else.
But within the time Hagenbarth has owned his drone, the FAA has changed the requirements for him to fly it legally. As of last month, all drones flying in the U.S. must be registered with the FAA and have the registration number displayed on the drone before it can take off. If you're caught flying an unregistered drone, you may face criminal penalties of up to $250,000 and 3 years in jail. This is all in addition to previous drone laws that require pilots to fly within their line of sight, no higher than 400 feet, and at least 5 miles away from an airport.
Due to a ban from the University of Florida in the proximity of the airport, it can be tough to fly a drone legally in Gainesville. But if you do find a safe place to fly, the city wants you to be aware of who you are sharing the skies with.
Attention Shands Care 1 team launch.
At the headquarters of the Shands Care helicopter program, an emergency call can come in at any time. But now the team has to scan for drones before they can take off.
We had a drone that overflew our heliport here at Shands Care.
Stacy Allen is the director of the Shands Care flight program. And after their drone encounter, she wants drone pilots to be aware of the safety concerns.
We would like to see no drones in the area of the hospital or the Gator Port because we could be leaving at a moment's notice and coming back at a moment's notice.
However, Hagenbarth is aware of the safety concerns and believes that accidents could be avoided if the FAA did a better job of educating drone pilots.
There are things that can happen, but if you're a responsible drone owner, the odds of that happening are very slim.
He hopes education can help combat the FAA drone use regulations so that he and others can continue to enjoy the skies without having to board an airplane.
For me to go out and be able to get up there and see things that I won't probably ever see because I don't have a desire to be in a plane, it's kind of cool for me.
Hagenbarth may not like to fly, but with his drone, he can still enjoy the view.
But I make it a point to send it up above my house, straight up, right at sunset, because you can see purples and oranges and just an amazing sight that I'll never see probably in my lifetime.
To help end some of the confusion on if you're flying legally, the FAA has released a new app called Before You Fly. The app uses your GPS location to determine if you are flying a safe distance away from airports. The app is currently available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. And staying in the tech world, Apple has announced its next product launch event will be held this upcoming Monday, March 21st. The tech giant sent out a vague invitation to media outlets that said, quote, "Let us loop you in." The analysts and tech bloggers are anticipating a new 4-inch iPhone, a smaller iPad Pro, and new bands for the Apple Watch. Monday's events will take place at Apple's campus in Cupertino, California. And ride-sharing app Uber has launched a new food delivery service app that selects cities and called Uber Eats. Uber users are able to order food by using the ride-hauling company's primary app in some cities, but company representatives say they quickly realized hailing a ride is much different from ordering food. So they created a separate app from the Uber ride service. Uber Eats is now available in LA, San Francisco, Houston, Toronto, and Chicago. Several more cities, including New York, Atlanta, and Seattle, will get the service soon.
Thanks so much, Ryan. That was really neat.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I know Amanda's been telling us these past couple days, enjoy the beginning of the week because the rest of our way is not going to be so pretty.
That's right. We've got a cold front moving through that's going to bring in a lot of rain. Amanda, when exactly will that arrive?
Well, the cold front is knocking on our doorstep right now, and rain chances will begin to increase as early as tomorrow afternoon. So you want to pay attention for the next couple of minutes. It doesn't look like much now. It's not very impressive on this satellite radar loop. The only thing you can really make out is the low pressure system. There is a trailing cold front, but it's very unimpressive at the moment. However, over the next 24 hours, it's going to tap into that subtropical jet stream we've been talking about and really bring in some moisture and develop a front that will be bringing us several rounds of rain over the next few days. The first one arrives tomorrow afternoon. I think we could start to see showers as early as 2 o'clock, but I think they'll just be scattered showers with the possibility for some thunderstorms on our Thursday. Friday and Saturday rounds are a different story. We could see widespread showers as well as the possibility for thunderstorms as well. So keep that in mind. That's 3 rounds of rain over the next 3 days. We'll be clearing out by Sunday, but we'll also be turning much cooler with highs returning back into the upper 60s by Monday and the lows back in the 40s. So here's future track of the rain. I think we'll be dry through the morning hours, and I think here in Alachua County through lunchtime as well. But starting right around 2 o'clock, that's when those showers will start to develop here in Alachua County. And then after that, I really think that we could see scattered showers and thunderstorms across North Florida tomorrow afternoon. We should see a break in the activity from Thursday night into Friday morning. However, Friday morning, the activity will start much earlier and, like I said, become more widespread. Several waves of energy are going to develop along the front as it stalls out just to the south of us. I'm not expecting too much severe weather with this, maybe just some stronger thunderstorms with some gusty winds, but not expecting tornadoes. But you can see the more widespread activity Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, much of the same story. I know Gator Nationals are this weekend, so Sunday will be the better day to attend that because we will start to dry out Sunday. This is early Sunday morning. The front finally is sliding to the south. We could see a couple spotty early morning showers, but Sunday afternoon we turn much drier. However, if you're heading to Gator Nationals, it will be cooler out there as well, so you'll need the jackets. But you won't need the jackets right now. Current temperatures out there, still another warm and dry one out there. 84 in Gainesville, 84 down in Ocala, 88 down in Orlando. So certainly a warm one. Enjoy tonight because it's the last warm and dry one we'll see for a while. Here's your hour by hour for tonight. 79 by 8 o'clock, 72 by 10 o'clock. Very mild and kind of humid and muggy out there as well, thanks to that increased moisture. But here's my 6th day. It's not the best looking. We've got 4 days of rain chances. However, Sunday will be mostly dry with just a few sprinkles in the morning. And then those temperatures really start to drop Sunday and then in the upper 60s by Monday. Back to you.
Thank you, Amanda. The Florida softball team finally hit a bump in the road earlier this week.
That's right. After starting 26-1 on this season, Auburn handed Florida its first loss on Monday. We bring in WUFT sports anchor Ben Murphy, who has more on the team.
Tough loss Monday, but I don't think anyone around the team is really too upset with a 26-1 start. When I come back, I'll tell you how the softball team is going to try to get it back tonight. Stay tuned. Sports is next. Florida softball team lost Monday night for the first time since the Women's College World Series in 2015. And I can tell you, I wouldn't want to be the next team that stands in their way. Welcome back to sports. I'm Ben Murphy. How did Winthrop get so lucky? They come into Gainesville tonight looking to hand Florida consecutive losses. That is a tough feat to do. Florida scored 18 runs this past weekend against Auburn, taking 2 of 3 from the third-ranked Tigers. Always be careful with games like this. Winthrop is going to try to catch Florida looking ahead. The Gators will have their first home SEC series this weekend against Tennessee, but they'll have to get through the Eagles tonight, who are 10-16 on the year. First time these two have met since 2004 when Florida defeated the Eagles 7-1. First pitch, Gainesville tonight, 6 p.m. Garnet and gold, orange and blue, Gainesville and Tallahassee, Florida and Florida State. These two foes could be playing chess and it would still find a way to get heated. No chess on today's show, but the number 1 Gator baseball team hosted number 11 FSU last night. Florida 12-0 coming into the game at home. Peter Alonso trying to defend the house in the third. That 2-run bomb gives Florida a 3-0 lead, giving Florida fans what they want. FSU, yeah, they also gave Florida fans what they wanted. Now on to the defensive blunder part of the show. Mistakes across the board cost the Noles. Both teams had 9 hits, but 3 costly errors from the Noles made a big difference in the game. Now back to the scoring. Bases loaded in the 5th for freshman Jonathan India. Drives it to left. No seminal error needed. Gets the game to 5-0. Florida junior Dane Dunning finally finding himself on the hill. Make him look foolish, Dane. 5 Ks, 5.2 innings pitched. Gators win 6-0. First shutout of the Noles since 1994 at home. Head coach Kevin O'Sullivan, how you feel about that?
But I think that the thing I'm most pleased with right now, I think we're swinging the bat better. It's awfully nice to get Pete going because he can give some protection to JJ. We're playing really good defense. We've got a lot of options on the mound.
The first SEC series for Kevin O'Sullivan and the top-ranked Gators comes this weekend when they host Missouri. For Florida, the dream of dancing in the NCAA tournament died with a loss to Texas A&M in the SEC tournament. Not sure what the team ate for breakfast yesterday morning, but they opened the NIT with a bang. By the numbers, Florida absolutely outmatched UNF on their floor. First half, 57 points to UNF's 25. That, my friends, is a first half high this season for the Gators. Florida beat the Ospreys at their own game, 16 for 32 from 3. That's 50%, and I'm not really sure where that's been all year. Final from UNF, 97-68. The Gators advance to play Ohio State in the round of 2 in the NIT. They will be without center John Agbunu. Thumb surgery awaits the 6'11", 255-pound redshirt sophomore. His campaign is done. Florida's is not. Gators versus Ohio State this Sunday at noon from Columbus. Personally, I love a wide variety of sports, but there's a select few events that gets me really excited. The Super Bowl, opening day in baseball, the Masters, and of course, March Madness. It's tourney time. Florida Gulf Coast against Fairleigh Dickinson. 11-0 start to get things going for FGCU, capped off from this deuce from Demetrius Morant. Later, look at the scoreboard. 36-15, FGCU up, and this helps. Deep 2 from Mark Eddie Norelia. Second half action, yep, still talking about the Eagles. And Travius Simmons, and 1. Buckets. Florida Gulf Coast wins 96-65. They're back. Dunk City finds their way to a date with North Carolina. Well, we're not done there Tuesday night. Vanderbilt and Wichita State, they also went at it for a spot in the round of 64 Thursday night. First half, Vandy taking charge. Joe Toy, the freshman, gets him up 4. Later in the half, Ron Baker to Rashad Kelly. Up and in. The Shockers take the lead by 4. This game would be tied at the break. Second frame. Oh, don't do it, Ron. Don't do it to him, Ron Baker. 3 there, 1 point more than a Ron Baker's dozen. 14 for him on the night. Again, Wichita State, Fred Van Vliet finds Shaquille Morris, that is, who throws it down. 40 second half points gets the Shockers the win, and they are in. 2 more games tonight before tomorrow's round of 64 begins. Southern and Holy Cross looking to win and play 1-seeded Oregon. And at 9:10 tonight, Tulsa and Big Blue Michigan for a meeting with Notre Dame.
All right, thanks so much, Ben. Before we go, let's get one last check on the weather.
Here's Amanda.
You'll want to enjoy tonight while you can. It's the last mild, dry evening we'll have for quite a while as temperatures only fall into the lower 70s by 10 o'clock. Those clouds increasing as well. Patchy fog could develop by morning. However, the bigger story is the next 4 days of rain chances. Sunday looks to be the driest day of the weekend, but it turns cooler with temperatures in the lower 70s again. So it will be a soggy St. Patrick's Day out there with the possibility for some thunderstorms Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That cold front clearing out by the end of the weekend, and then temperatures cool into the upper 60s by Monday. Back to you.
Thanks, Amanda. We'll be back tomorrow at 5, but your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org.
Here on WUFT TV, BBC World News is up next, and the PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7 o'clock. Have a good night.